everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Wishful Thinking. This is take 2, unfortunately, the intro. So now that we have proper introductions, we have Kennedy over Zoom today. We got PR, Jackson, myself, Stefan, and we got Ronnie. And today we're talking about Barbennehimer, new cultural phenomenon. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to rehash this joke, but it's this generation's Mamma Mia, Batman Begins.
Dark Knight.
Dark Knight.
Isn't it like Dark Mama or Dark Mama? Isn't that
the that feels so wrong.
It really does. Yeah.
So, and apparently, and here's funny is Cillian Murphy is yet again another one.
Yep. It's about time too. He deserves to have his own Nolan movie because he's been in like every single one since I don't remember, but a lot of them. I guess Inception.
He was Scarecrow.
He was Scarecrow.
Oh,
Scarecrow.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
He has Scarecrow.
And I just watched Dunkirk, and he's in that one too, which I was like, oh yeah.
Inception?
He's in Inception. He's the kid that like he's the like guy that they have to enter the dreams. Oh. His dreams specifically.
Oh. Isn't it a Japanese dude?
There was a Japanese dude in there. How big was that guy? No, I'm pretty sure. I haven't watched it in a bit, but yeah.
Well, okay, cool. So I guess first and foremost, out of the two movies, which one are you most excited to see?
Probably Oppenheimer. I'm actually like really, really excited for Oppenheimer.
I feel like Kennedy's background.
Oppenheimer for sure. I don't give a shit about the Barbie movie. I think that's just a waste of time. No, I'm obviously so excited for Barbie. It's not even funny. I'm so excited. And Ronnie, I'm jealous of you because aren't you seeing it later today?
Yeah, I'm seeing it right when I get out of here.
Ooh.
I think it's going to be really good.
It's so good.
So safe to assume that you're more excited for Barbie?
Oh yeah, for sure. Team Barbie. It's cinema in its purest form.
For me, it's difficult, but I might have to lean towards Oppenheimer, and that's only because and this is gonna sound stupid, but like anything World War II related, but specifically from like those weird science stories, like Alan Turing, for example. I loved The Imitation Game.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I forgot about that.
And like I don't know, I feel like World War II just like World War II movies that aren't like necessarily like historically accurate, but just tell really interesting stories from that time are some of my favorite out there. Like I know, what was it, like Life is Beautiful is one of my favorite movies for that reason. It's this Italian film from like way back when. I need to watch Inglourious Bastards.
Me too.
It's really good.
Yeah. I'm same boat, Oppenheimer, and I actually just rewatched Dunkirk for that same reason of like some sort of war movie, also done by Nolan, where it's like a historical fiction sort of boat, and yeah, it's gonna be good.
I don't know, like I'm not a World War II like historian or anything, but I will say what kind of convinced me, like when I first read that they were making a movie about Oppenheimer, I'm like, cool. They will say the thing. It's like and then when the trailer came out and it's Albert Einstein cameo, I'm like, oh I have got to. This is like my bread and butter. But yeah, no, I'm really excited about it. It seems like it's going to be a really interesting movie, especially since, and I guess we can talk about this as well, the IMAX reel is like a solid,
gosh,
100 pounds, something like that?
No, it's ridiculously large.
It's like 16 miles?
14 to 16 miles.
14 to 16 miles.
Which is nuts.
It's mad. Have you not seen the picture?
No,
it's like almost 10 feet tall.
Yeah. So they've legitimately, a lot of movie theaters, because Oppenheimer is like one of the biggest movies of the summer, have had to do construction around fitting the IMAX reel because they're not going to just not show Oppenheimer. So they're going to build around it.
Well, there's another thing, right? It's a lot of movie theaters are getting the IMAX, but it's like the 35 standard. There's very few theaters in every state that are actually 70 millimeter. In Utah, the only one that is actual 70 millimeter is one, the planetarium. Like true IMAX is the planetarium and Jordan Commons.
Right.
Megaplex, that's it.
Which I was just looking at tickets for me and my dad, and it's
sold out.
It's pretty much sold out. I think we might be able to snag a couple, but we have to like do it today.
Yeah, same. I might go see it alone.
Yeah,
or with Stefan if he Wants to.
I'm
Okay.
down. Hey, I told you I ain't got nothing to do on Friday.
All right, I will find tickets.
Okay, you better. I won't go to tacos beforehand.
Okay.
Tacos?
Yeah.
Make
Shout
a
out to
little date out of it.
shout out to Lopez Tacos. Not sponsored, but I just really love that place.
So I'm curious then, because we've kind of went a little bit into why we're excited for Oppenheimer. But our two Barbie fans, why are you excited for No, I'm not saying that we're not. Just, why is it Barbie over Oppenheimer?
Ronnie, do you want to go first?
Sure.
You're seeing it today.
Yeah, true. I can pretty much sum it up in 2 words: Margot Robbie. Also, just the fact that the Barbie movie is even a thing, and it's apparently working, and it's apparently good. Like, I'm just excited to see what shenanigans they've come up with that even justify one, and then justify a good Barbie movie. I don't know. I'm excited for Oppenheimer, but don't crucify me, the 3 Oppenheimer people at the table. But I like Christopher Nolan, but I'm just not like a super mega fan. And like it comes off to me as very like I just my words carefully.
Say whatever, I'm good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very
I'm a big Nolan fan, but I also know many people that's like, it's just too much.
Yep.
yeah, it's too much.
It's
Like
too
I'm
much.
the film critic. I have a 7 feet tall, 7-story tall reel for IMAX. It's like this is the movie.
Actually, quick question: was it Nolan Interstellar?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love Interstellar actually.
Okay.
Interstellar is
I do
probably my
know that.
favorite.
Okay.
Same.
But yeah, I'm excited for both, but Barbie is just gonna do it for me. And I like comedies and dramedies. You call them?
Dramedies?
What's not funny
Yeah.
about the atomic bomb?
I've heard it's a really depressing film.
I've heard it's good. I mean, everything that I'm hearing is like you should watch Oppenheimer first,
And then Barbie.
so that you can just get emotionally destroyed, and then Barbie can bring you back to life,
I think
basically.
Margot Robbie herself said that,
Yeah.
actually.
So I
That's
don't
why
know.
I'm excited. How about you, Kennedy?
What about Kenya?
Yeah, I'm honestly exactly the same. I'm just more into comedies. I think they're harder to do successfully, and so when they work out, it's really impressive to me. I'm just really excited, and I just can't believe that a movie like this was approved to be given the budget that it was. And so
With
in the
Greta
same way,
Gerwig.
I'm so excited that something like Barbie is really given a chance to be something actually, worthwhile. I'm just like really happy that it even happened because I really didn't think it would.
Well, it's also interesting because Mattel has had a history of not really liking people's interpretations of their toy lines. Like, way back when the Barbie girl, like I'm a Barbie Girl by Aqua released, Mattel was angry. Like they were
Really?
pissed. No, they won a whole lawsuit because of it.
Wow,
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
and now it's featured in the Barbie movie apparently.
Which the soundtrack already, they've been releasing a couple like singles from like Billie Eilish.
Billie Eilish.
That was a really good single. They got like some Dua Lipa stuff in there too. It's gonna be cool.
She's in the movie, I heard too.
Oh yeah,
she is.
that's
Yeah,
right.
she is. She plays Mermaid Barbie, and I'm
Let's
so
go.
excited.
I think John Cena is too.
John Cena.
I heard that John Cena's in it.
He
Yes.
is, yeah.
No, I can just imagine Dua Lipa's cameos. Like, what's up, guys? I'm Mermaid Barbie, aka Dua Lipa. Buy my single.
I don't know if they're gonna do that. Put some respect on Dua Lipa's name, dog.
Yeah.
I don't know. She's alright.
Okay.
That's you.
Moving on.
I'm with you.
Barbie just sounds like a party.
It does.
It does.
My one worry going into Barbie, like I said, I'm excited for both. I'm a little worried that like I'm a little over hyped for Barbie, I guess, and that it's not going to live up to the expectations. Just because of like everything that they've been doing marketing wise, the fact that like pink was like the color was in low shortage for a little bit because of the movie, all of the Dreamhouse stuff everywhere, like I don't know, maybe that's
If
just
you
me.
Google Greta Gerwig, Margot Robbie, or Ryan Gosling right now, it'll actually the Google thing will actually turn pink.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, you want to do it right now? You want to test that out?
On my phone?
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll work.
It works on the phone. I've tried it
Okay.
on the browser. Yeah.
What?
The marketing for Barbie's insane.
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 I don't think I've ever seen a movie marketed like this heavily and this well, I guess.
either.
It's a really great marketing
I think the
campaign.
last one was Batman, like Nolan's Batman.
The Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, because remember they did like the whole like Comic-Con whole thing where they like launched a bunch of
right.
Batmans, and they did like a Joker like scavenger hunt. And then like the website, and it was one of the most involved marketing strategies I've ever seen.
Blair Witch also had a similar guerrilla marketing campaign too, and to be fair, it was also like the first found footage film as well. Really, that really went into the mainstream. Like they had a whole website. It's like, oh, these people are missing, blah blah blah. Police report. They had to literally like have the actors be like, guys, it's okay, we're not actually dead.
The only one that I'm thinking recently, and this hasn't really worked out now, but Secret Invasion had like their website, and then they actually had like scrolls in the background of actual news stuff going on. Too bad that the show is.
I'm gonna say, have you watched it?
I got up to like 3 episodes, and then I got like the big reveal spoiled for me, and I was like, I don't need to watch it now.
I got that spoiled for me too. I had to mute it on Twitter, but I still haven't started the show because I heard it's just bad.
It's just whatever.
The wings are good though.
The what?
Did you guys get the Wingstop wings?
No.
So for their marketing, right? They did a collaboration with Wingstop. Where if you order on the app, if you order on the app, there's like 2 specialty wings, like flavors that you can only get on the app.
Am I like green or something?
No, but they're like one is like Parmesan. I don't know. It's like they're actually really good. Parmesan Cajun is one of them, and the other one's like habanero honey barbecue or something.
Oh, that sounds really good.
They're both really good. I'm not
Dang.
gonna lie.
Okay. I've been meaning to get Wingstop for a while. Wingstop.
Wingstop.
Come on.
Also, yes, it is true that if you Google Margot Robbie, it turns pink, and then it has a little animation.
But also, you were saying like you were excited for Barbie because of Margot Robbie. I wholeheartily agree. She has been killing it lately in terms of like almost everything.
She's always been killing it.
Yeah.
She's everything. She's Barbie. Like that is Barbie.
What an accomplishment.
Well, actually, that leads into really something I kind of want to talk about is the amount of detail for a Barbie movie is just insane. Like I remember one of the clips, like the way she walks, like the way she holds her arms.
I mean, the first shot where it's her walking off of the heels and then her heels are still up and like that whole thing. I mean, as you were joking, it was cinema.
Yeah. Yeah.
This might sound like a weird comparison, but it kind of reminds me of how the Lego movie, like similar vibe. I don't know if that makes any sense though.
It does make sense.
Yeah, like it's funny because Will Ferrell is also in this movie playing the bad guy.
Oh yeah, that's true, and he's in the same. I think he's in almost an identical suit. Now that you say that, right? Except the tie clothes. He looks exactly the same.
But yeah, I'm really excited, and I'm wondering, like, how deep into the Barbie lore do you think they're gonna go?
There's a Barbie lore?
I think pretty deep.
There's a deep Barbie lore.
There's deep Barbie lore.
I think there's going to be a lot of Barbie references, like to actual Barbies for sure, undoubtedly. But I also, Michael Cera, who is Alan? Is that a Barbie reference? Because I don't actually know, and I couldn't find anything.
Listen, I've been reading up on so much Barbie lore.
Okay, good. I want to hear it because I want to know who Alan is before I go watch it.
So, before that, though, I will say, if Bibble is not in the movie, I will be depressed.
That's what I'm thinking.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Trust me. Don't worry about it.
I want to worry about it.
It is this. So
just like I don't know, just for like 2 seconds. Because how would they even fit him in? I don't know. But like, if there's like some sort of color palette that looks like Bibble, just something to something for me.
in the like animated movies, like the old ones where they had a bunch. I don't remember what movie it was specifically, but it's just this tiny little fur ball. Yeah, what movie was it?
Barbie Mermaidia Mariposa or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have 3 younger sisters, so I was subjected to this a lot. It's this tiny little fur ball that has the most high-pitched, annoying voice you've ever heard. And when you are watching that movie for the 5th time while in your little Toyota van because your sisters won't shut up,
Bill, you're a genius.
Stop. I have some deep hatred for Bibble. I will tell you what.
Wow, we didn't need you trauma dumping over here.
What?
You know what? No, trauma dump.
No, but what I will say though, Kennedy, Alan actually was an actual doll. And yeah, Ken's best friend, essentially.
Oh, they made Ken. That's so funny. It's like they made Ken a Ken, like they side character a side character, so that he could have like a friend.
If I remember correctly, there's also some other Barbie lore that some of which I hope they make it in, some of which I hope they have critiques of. I don't know. Two of the ones that come to mind immediately. One was Oreo Barbie.
Oreo?
Or Sorry, PR, do you know about this one?
Oreo Barbie.
Oreo Barbie.
Like the Oreos.
Okay, so
Okay, not like a different Oreo,
Mattel.
right?
So Mattel.
That's what I started.
No, okay. So Mattel had like a tie-in with one of their Barbie dolls for like with the Oreo company because tie-ins happen all the time. Hot Wheels even does it with like the most random of franchises and everything. Except they didn't think about optics because they made the doll like a black woman. And then for those not in the know, Oreo is a slur for
That's what I thought you were referencing.
black
for a
on the
second.
outside, white on the inside. So
How did I not know that?
Oh yeah.
you would know.
Okay.
Okay.
No, it was. Yeah, it's a part of Barbie lore that like Barbie history that's just not great.
I want them to eat an Oreo now. I don't know why. Just little
They can
Easter egg
hold
in
up.
there.
Might as
So
well.
it's
They can do
not
some
like
marketing.
pink Oreos.
No.
How
I
is it
thought
not
they did
pink.
those,
That's,
yeah.
that's like a great idea. They should put me on the marketing team.
Yeah, they should.
So there's that, and then there's my other favorite one that I recently learned of as of like a couple of weeks ago. Magic Earring Ken. And I've talked about this. I think with
Did we talk about this in Geek Out too?
Oh, we might have. We might
can
have.
go.
Yeah,
But-
you mentioned it to me, and I looked it up after, and I read about it. It's truly hilarious, and I just think it's one of those things where, some corporate. It makes me laugh. Like people who are so far removed from like what the youth want it's just so obviously not what they're trying to do, but none of them caught it, and it went. I mean, they made the doll, they fully sold it. Like
It was sold out for a while, yeah. But yeah, for those not in the know, though, Magic Earring Ken was a Ken doll back in I believe the 80s, and so Mattel wanted to create a Ken doll that was like hip and cool and in with the cool other kids, and so they sent out market researchers to nightclubs, to see what the youth were like. And so they created this doll that was like the most flamboyant Ken ever. Turns out it's because their market researchers didn't realize that they were going to gay nightclubs.
Oh.
And the reason he's called Magic Earring Ken is because he has like a ring necklace, like a ring on a necklace. Because again, that's what they saw. They saw like the ripped jeans. You can look up a photo. It's the most fantastic thing you will ever see.
it's so in your face. It's like how did they put that on a toy?
I don't know.
And they were like, yeah, this is a necklace.
The funny thing is, though, is the necklace, like the earring, was not an earring at all. It's actually a cock ring.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah. And what's funny? It
Oh
got
my
sold
gosh.
out because gay men kept on buying all the stock. It was popular amongst gay men, not their target demographic at all. And then they discontinued it, and so I think now it's like a collectible.
Oh my god!
I believe it.
Hold on, hey, show Ronnie.
Did you see the picture?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
So, no, when I saw Ryan Gosling with the ripped jean jacket, I'm like, please, I'm begging you.
They did not, unfortunately, put the cock ring, but
It's actually pretty close.
They got real close.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also rated PG-13. They could go there without explaining it. You know?
exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's just a ring.
Especially with his friend Alan.
Exactly.
So, I noticed in the trailers there's a bunch of Kens,
Yes.
but there's only
Simu
one
Liu?
Alan,
Yeah.
There's only one Alan.
but there's a bunch of Kens.
Yeah. It's because Alan, I think, was like a one-time thing, if I remember.
I think it's also just because Michael Cera.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, Michael Cera doesn't fit as like a Ken.
Yeah.
Simu Liu, though.
Oh my gosh.
Chef's kiss of a human being.
So.
No, I'm so excited. But yeah, switching gears to Oppenheimer though, because I kind of dedicate
That
some time
movie,
for
yeah.
both. Yeah, that movie. So I've read up that apparently Christopher Nolan recreated the Trinity test
Yeah.
without CGI.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
It's
Obviously-
crazy that they set off actual nukes to film this movie
It was so
Hollywood's
worth it.
just getting reckless. Like, they can just do whatever they want. That's so wild that they did that. That's another reason I'm not going to go see it.
You're taking a stance against nukes, kid.
Yeah, I think nukes are bad. I know, hey, controversial opinion. I think nukes are bad.
Wow.
Say what you're going to say. I have to speak my truth.
I might have to edit this out.
Cock rings over nukes, people. That's Kennedy's stance. Kennedy, is that your stance? Cock rings over nukes?
Yeah.
I'm, slay queen. Slay.
No, so the claim that there is no CGI is true, but not at the same time, right?
VFX counts as
True
CGI, right?
VFX counts as CGI. So there's no like full shot where it's complete CGI like how it is in a lot of movies nowadays.
Yeah, man.
Every
Hey.
shot is filmed in real life, but then enhanced with VFX in some places.
Like the One Piece show.
Sure. We'll get to that later. That's a different episode. When that comes out, it comes out next month, and I want to do a wishful thinking.
I'll watch it.
I'll watch it.
I'll be the one guy who hasn't done any One Piece
One
and just
Piece.
gets into live action.
That's fine. That's what it's for. But to get back to Oppenheimer. Yeah, so every shot is actually filmed practically. They didn't set off a nuke, but they set off a big ass bomb. And if you watch the behind the scenes on it, so I watched a bunch of behind the scenes on the filming of Oppenheimer and stuff. It's kind of crazy. They dug a trench, and
They dug a trench.
they dug a trench for protection, and then
Whoa.
and then set up a camera. The DP, I think it's Van Hoyt, right? Is he doing the DP for it?
I think so.
He's there with his big ass IMAX camera, like this, just staring into the abyss.
I mean, so me and Ronnie were talking about this a little bit with Mission Impossible and how every movie Tom Cruise has to one up himself basically. I feel like that's how Nolan feels right now. Because last movie he crashed a real plane into an airport, and in Inception he had the actual rotating hotel. I'm trying to think of what else he's done, but he's done some crazy stuff.
He's a very practical filmmaker, which I love.
Always
The
works
amount
out.
of bombs in the Batman series alone.
That's right.
True.
Yeah.
He bombed an actual football field, right? Totally.
And a hospital.
Oh, a hospital he actually did. I don't know if he did a football field. I feel like
I think he did.
he might have
Most of the stuff is real.
Right.
But Oppenheimer is unique in that way for sure. But yeah, there is so they didn't drop a nuke, they dropped a big ass bomb.
Sorry. My mistake.
completely different.
Right,
Of course.
completely different. One is nuclear holocaust, one is not, right? So it's
You're like those insufferable World War II historians. Actually, the Titan was used for marine warfare, not air warfare.
no, but he did buy a plot of land.
Wait. Was that the same plot of land that he also built the whole science? Because he built the whole science.
He
thing,
bought
right?
a town
Yes.
for this movie.
Yes.
And then bought more land to set off this bomb because the government wouldn't let him do it. So he's
How can you
I
not
own
respect
this land
Nolan
now.
for this? I know that it's such a nerd thing, but
It's crazy for sure.
Here's the thing too. Is it's funny to me because there's already Nevada. Nevada's just all desert, and some of the towns still suffer from radiation and everything, because of all the nuclear testing that goes on there.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering why why the choice to just buy a whole town instead of just
Because the government wouldn't let him do it. He's like, hey, I want to drop a bomb. The government's like, no.
He's like, I'm going to go drop this bomb outside your town. Thanks. No.
Yeah, the government said no. And then he's like, I'll buy the town and I'll buy the land where I'm going to drop the bomb.
I love America. You can't drop a bomb unless you own the town.
Which I don't know. So reviews have already started coming out, and they're very, very, very good.
Right.
But
IGN gave it a 10 out of 10, which is
which
rare for
IGN?
IGN.
Yeah, it's not a 7, surprisingly.
Yeah, they're
I know,
always
right?
it's 7s. It's
always
always
a
7 and
7.
6.
So I'm definitely excited, and based off of what I've seen of some of the reviews, it's not just for the bomb's sake, which of course it's not,
Right.
but it's also to get into Oppenheimer's like mind space, which is really cool. Because like,
Oppenheimer lore is hilarious too.
right? You mean history?
No. His early life is hilarious. No. Not even just because of how he made the bomb. He was crazy.
Yeah, he was.
The entire time.
Well,
Like,
that's why like half of the so you can tell like the colored versions is gonna be more. I don't remember if it's subjective or objective. I don't know. Color and black and white are different perspectives into Oppenheimer's brain. Like some of
Right.
it is factual, like what actually happened. Some of it is from Oppenheimer's perspective and the kind of messed up stuff that was going on there, which is so interesting.
I want to take the time to explain some Oppenheimer lore. So he studied physics and everything. He actually studied under like some of the greatest minds in physics, like Max Bohr, for example. The funny thing is, though, was that he was so sloppy and like in the lab and everything. Like he was just so reckless that they're like, I think theoretical physics might be better for you. Deadass, he was just that
And
like.
even then, he made a giant mess.
No, and it's funny too, because he just straight up beat up a dude once. Like one of his closest friends, he got irate with him and just like straight up like.
You think we're gonna see that in the movie?
I hope so. Like I said, the man is like the scientific version of Andrew Jackson.
Oh my gosh.
That's not a good comparison.
No.
Maybe, I don't know how racist, but definitely like violent.
I want to see him throw fisticuffs with Albert Einstein.
Oh my gosh. That's what we need.
Do you think, okay, here's a serious question. Do you think there's going to be a Hitler cameo?
No.
I don't think so.
I don't think anyone would want to play that. Is my thing.
Taika Waititi did.
Yeah,
It's a great point.
he
But
did
it's
a
like,
great job too.
Yeah.
Almost made me like Hitler. No, just kidding. I'm totally kidding.
Well, Fiora, this movie's probably not for you.
What time was that? About 30 minutes in, we're gonna clip that out.
That's gonna be the clip.
That's gonna be the clip.
Of the reels.
I like Hitler now.
No, I don't like Hitler. I'm saying Taika Waititi did a good
Yes.
job as Hitler.
I will.
Okay, to be fair, Taika Waititi, anything that man touches, chef's kiss.
Dora loving that.
Okay, don't.
I respect him a ton, and he even came out recently. This is a little bit off topic, and was like, guys, when executives kind of force us to make movies that we aren't passionate about, you get Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And so it's like you guys have to stop pushing filmmakers to make all of these movies that at the end of the day we're not gonna want to make and put out that stuff.
Well, to be fair, I'm biased because one of my favorite series is What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh
It's-
yeah, he's in.
He made the movie that was the show is based off, and he was like executive producer for that.
Okay.
They just got a new season. I am so
right.
excited.
Is it the vampire show?
It's the vampire show. It's. I already raved to Kennedy about this like weeks ago. It's
Nice.
anyhow. Where were we? PR likes Hitler.
I don't like Hitler.
So with that, let's switch
We're gonna calm down with that before we
let's switch over back
No,
to
but one thing I want to mention Oppenheimer was the amount of like just the casting for this movie is insane, and also I feel like two of the actors, Matt Damon, I don't remember who else. Maybe it was just Matt Damon.
Cillian
We're
Murphy,
like,
but
well, no, but specifically, we're like, I'm gonna take a break from acting.
I was Matt Damon.
Yes.
No, I
the only
told
way
my
I'm gonna
wife.
come back.
He specifically said he's like, I told my wife I would take time off acting to spend time with her, except if Christopher Nolan called.
Next week, Christopher Nolan calls me for Oppenheimer.
Which like,
Sorry, honey.
Oh, Robert Downer Jr. was another one. He said he's going to take a break after Iron Man. And then Christopher Nolan called, and he was like, sure.
I feel like Christopher Nolan is the Nick Fury of cinema.
He's calling up the Avengers.
Funny, actually.
He just shows up in the background, Leonardo DiCaprio. I'm making a movie. You want in?
But yeah, we've even got, one of my favorites recently is Jack Quaid, who's, what's his face from The Boys? The main
Huey?
kid. Huey, yeah.
Yeah.
He's Huey. He's now Superman in the animated show, which is amazing.
My Adventures with Superman?
Yes.
Dude,
It's
I have so much
amazing.
time.
Yeah,
That
we
show
gotta
is-
save that for Geek Out because I
that
have
sh-
so much stuff to talk
That
about.
show is the most bisexual show I've ever
Right?
seen.
Okay.
Anyways.
No, but
And actually, speaking of...
it's got Drake back from Drake and Josh.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
No, not Superman. Oppenheimer.
Oh,
Sorry.
No,
now
not
I
Drake.
drifted.
Josh.
Josh.
Okay, I didn't.
Josh
Drake.
Peck.
Draco.
Drake is in jail.
Yeah.
My bad. I don't know that.
Do you not know about Drake lore? I'll tell you afterwards.
tell you
I'll tell you
later,
afterwards. But no, I was just actually gonna. This actually brings up a really good point about Barbie, because obviously Greta Gerwig is really does phenomenal work and does a lot of really interesting feminist movies, a lot of really great feminist perspectives in her films. But I'm wondering if because when I saw the trailer, it's like, oh, this is my best friend Alan. I'm like, are we going to touch on queer topics? I mean, do you think that's going to be?
I definitely think they're going to touch on more feminist topics. I don't know about queer though.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting take. I don't know if it'll necessarily be Ken and Alan.
Yeah.
But I'm sure at some point they might touch on it a little bit.
I mean, we know Greta Gerwig handles that stuff very well, based off of Lady Bird and Little Women, and just like all of that was really, really well done.
Well, I'm not even worried or anything like that, but I'm just curious because, I mean, obviously this is a response both to in gender roles in general, because Barbie is like everything and Ken is just Ken. That's like the main tagline of the movie.
Donna, you're the Barbie fanatic here as well.
It seems like they're doing a reverse on the real world and how, in the real world, like men are in these positions of power and whatnot. But like in Barbie world, Barbie is running things and like how Barbie. This is just me guessing off the trailers. If I accidentally spoil it, I'm sorry. But how Barbie goes into the real world and she's like, what? This is like entirely different.
And someone smacks her ass and like isn't that one of the
that's like one of
things?
and it's like, what the hell is going on? And Billie Eilish song "What Was I Made For" plays over a montage for being sad, and then she goes back to Barbie world. I don't know.
It's gonna be. It's gonna be.
I'm saying.
I don't know too, because it's interesting to note because the way Ken is portrayed, and even Ryan Gosling, like it's weird because the meta commentary too is just super interesting. Like, not even just seeing the film, but seeing the reactions to the film. And, like, a lot of people criticizing, saying, well, Ryan Gosling's too old. And it's like, I feel like that's kind of the point of the Barbie movie. I haven't seen it yet, but, like, I feel like that's something they're going to touch on is just, like, expectations of masculinity.
Okay.
Because, again, Alan and Ken, they're super friendly. And, this is my best friend. And that's why I was wondering whether or not they would touch on queer topics. Because when it comes to toxic masculinity, there's not really a lot of friendships there. There's not really a lot of like you're not able to really express yourself the way Ken kind of does, and throughout the trailers. So I'm wondering if that's
Well, there's a lot of Kens. So.
There are a lot of Kens.
There's a lot of Kens.
Yeah, I think to go on to the Ken thing, I think Ken is easily going to be maybe my favorite part of this movie. I think it's going to be really, really interesting to see. And I agree with Ronnie. I think it's going to be like he serves as, like a flip of the real world where like suddenly he's the side character and like Barbie's going on these adventures and he just gets to look cute and just be there and just be happy, like that's his whole thing. And so I think it'll be really interesting to have him in that spot. And I also think that when he goes into the real world, I wonder if he also, even though the real world will benefit him more than Barbie, I wonder if he's also going to be like, but this is bad. Like, it doesn't feel good. Because if you're coming from a world where you're constantly like to the side and then you enter a new one where you're suddenly like everywhere, everything's for you, I wonder like, would you rejoice in it or would you be like, this feels wrong? Maybe he'll see more of the flaws in it because he's so not used to it. I'm kind of interested to see what they do with that.
Me too.
That is interesting. I like that take.
Philosophy from Barbie.
Yeah.
I know. I can't wait for the.
I can't wait for the wisecrack video. The philosophy of Barbie.
Well, I was thinking of like the actual like thought-provoking stuff that Barbie's going to be, and that Oppenheimer's going to be the popcorn flick, a very not serious movie. Yeah.
I mean that's kind of what it seems like, honestly, because like I don't know. I feel like there's not really much you can say about Oppenheimer, like outside of the story itself, and like because it's World War II, it's the nuke, and it's a lot of like regrets after the fact, and again, it's a lot of these great scientists that kind of were stuck in the middle of a pretty terrible situation, right? But like morally and ethically, I don't think it's gonna really reevaluate anything. Like I don't really. I don't know, because
I kind of disagree with you on this one.
Really?
I'm 3 hours worth of it, apparently. He's got a lot to say.
Oh, Lord.
No, I kind of disagree with you on this one. I think, you know, the reason that Nolan took on Oppenheimer as his first biopic is because the story and the grandness of it is just so intense, right?
Right.
Like, at least for me, like in my experience, I didn't learn about Oppenheimer until after high school, right? Like,
it was like a book that I read called Bomb that was actually like, and it was after high school. It was something that I figured out on my own.
so they don't teach you about this in school or anything.
Right.
And so I think showing a whole generation of what the initial nuke was and the reason it was made and the kind of mentality of Oppenheimer of like, I've made this, but I've also ruined the world because of it, plays in really well with kind of the socioeconomic climate of the world right now, right? We are constantly talking about...
That's a Jaden Smith reference right there.
That was my exact thought when you said that. I was like, I'm going to keep it in.
What's up, guys? I'm Jaden Smith.
Mature for my age, separated from my parents, with Jaden Smith.
Not only do I hate you, I hate myself now.
Jaden Smith, Oppenheimer, Barbie cameo, question mark?
No, but, you know, like the world is in a weird space right now where it's like the nuclear war is something that is being talked about more and more and more. Huh?
He said nuclear.
That's what I said.
It's nuclear.
Nuclear.
Shut the fuck up.
It's the same word.
Literally.
Potato, potato.
Continue.
I hate you.
Continue. Listen, I just wanted to be a little contrarian right now. So.
All right, whatever.
Continue.
But yeah, so like, I think that the story of Oppenheimer is something that needs to be told, and the fact that Nolan, I understand, Ronnie, I know your feelings on Nolan. I think he was the best option for this specific story because he will tell it in a way that no other biopic has.
I disagree. Wes Anderson would have done a better job.
No. Sorry.
Wide stills.
Asteroid City came out.
I still haven't seen it.
I need to. It's on my list, but you know, I agree. Honestly, I feel like there's certain directors that do certain tales really well.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I feel like Christopher Nolan has that vision. You know, like he just really loves dark stories. Is what I.
Me too.
You do. I don't think he has made a single like happy movie in his entire career. Inception was like questionably happy.
Yeah.
Dark Knight was not happy at all.
So, okay.
Okay.
This gets into my feelings of Tenet,
Okay.
which I know, like, I don't think many people. Has anyone here seen
I haven't
Tenet?
seen it yet.
I've
Okay.
not seen it.
You've seen it one. Oh, no, you haven't. Okay. It is a weird movie, and it's more just, like, it's definitely dark with some of the stuff that they're talking about, but I regard that as Nolan's, like, fun movie, where he's just like, what if you were to do a pincer roll movement in time, and what if you also were going to have, like, the whole movie be a time loop of some way? So, like, it's not necessarily happy. I would say it has a decently happy ending, but it's also incredibly confusing, and, like, it took me 4 rewatches to, like, oh, I get this movie now.
You get it?
Oh, I get it. I get it. It's so good. I love that movie so much. It is, like, top 3 Nolan movies for me.
Interstellar had kind of a happy ending.
Yeah.
Yeah, his daughter was old and dying.
Yeah, but like he got
got
to
sucked
see his
into
daughter
a black
again.
hole.
But he got to see his
Yeah,
daughter
okay.
again.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I was always confused by that. Did he, like, turn into a god or something when he got sucked into
No, he went into the 4th dimension
Yeah.
where time is a physical layer. And so that's why
So
he
he's
could go
moving
back
stuff
and move
around.
stuff around
Okay.
to
So he
like
became
send a
God.
message in time.
It's because
Gotcha.
gravity. It's physics. It's
Yeah.
somewhat right.
I know that
Oppenheimer.
that's one thing that I always trust about Nolan, though, is, like, the science is factual or theoretical in some way. Like, it's not like he's pulling this stuff out of his ass. He, like, genuinely does the research for this type of stuff. So,
Like for Interstellar, he hired theoretical physicists from like the most prestigious universities in the world, and he's like, "Hey, get together in a room and figure it out."
I'm making a movie.
Didn't they like figure out what a black hole looks like before we got a picture of it, and it was the exact same picture? Like,
Yep.
that's insane.
Yep.
No, well, and then with Oppenheimer too, like it's Oppenheimer was at this like a really critical time in math and physics and just STEM in general, where because it was really like the start of theoretical physics and really the start of like quantum, like the birth of quantum physics and all that, you know, because like Albert Einstein's whole like E equals MC squared, blah blah blah, that everyone's like, oh, you know, it's so smart and everything. Genuinely, it's like it's one of the most important concepts in physics because it led to us knowing what photons are and led to us knowing that photons are just really weird. Time is weird. So yeah, I think it's really interesting to see. I really, really hope we get to see some other historical figures there outside of our Albert Einstein.
That's what I was going to say. The whole E equals MC squared was actually, like, it was kind of formulated by Einstein, but every single piece came from specific scientists, and one of which, I don't remember which part specifically, but there was a female scientist basically to the same level as Einstein who's kind of gotten overshadowed over time. This is based off a documentary I saw in, like, 8th grade or something.
Right.
I hope that she's in this. She might be Florence Pugh, is my thought process.
Florence Pugh's an actress. Oh, yeah,
She's
maybe
in it as well.
Yeah. Maybe, I don't know. I'm trying to think.
Because I know Emily Blunt is Oppenheimer's wife, and Florence Pugh is going to have a big role in the movie, and I really hope that Nolan is shedding some light on that scientist because, like I said, she's been overshadowed by Einstein, even though she was just as pivotal to creating that equation as Einstein.
That's how history goes.
Yep.
Yeah,
But
gotta love it.
to play devil's advocate, I'm not gonna say that I'm not excited for the Barbie movie because I am.
But
No, that's it. I'm really excited for the Barbie movie. I want to see Oppenheimer because I think it'll change cinema. But I think
In what way?
you'll make me go film bro on this.
Go film, bro.
you already went film bro like 10 minutes ago, dude. Just go ham.
Fine. I think that a lot of biopics for a lot of different filmmakers and a lot of different people, right? They have always been like the film that isn't really recognized by the masses, right?
I'm trying to think of the last biopic that, like, actually...
The last one I feel like is
Mind.
probably I, Tonya.
I, Tanya. I was thinking Beautiful Mind.
Elvis.
Oh, Elvis. But even that was it kind of sucked, if I'm being honest.
I didn't hear that good pick. I just saw the Tom Hanks video
Are you?
where he's, like, really fat, and I think there was some sort of joke.
Are
I don't
you
remember what it was.
an Elvis fan, Ronnie?
I don't like Elvis, and I didn't see the movie, but it was a big biopic.
See, if you want Elvis representation, watch Clone High. There's a cameo. Anyways, you were saying the film, bro.
Yeah, just the sheer fact that Oppenheimer is one of the most talked about movies of the year, and it's a biopic, I think will change change the way that I think Hollywood thinks of cinema, right? Because
Right before the strikes.
right before the strikes,
Hollywood for a while.
fantastic. Oh, okay.
didn't
That's a
talk
good
about that.
segue into the strikes.
I will say real quick, though, that a counterpoint to that in terms of how Oppenheimer is going to change Hollywood for biopics, I think that Barbie can do the similar thing for comedy movies.
Absolutely.
Because the last couple of years have been really dry for comedy movies. I can't think of a really good one lately. Because usually it's like...
Emoji Movie.
Usually it's like a bunch of...
Just no.
I can't wait till Superbad 5 in 10 years.
No, I would rather have Jump Street 23 or whatever. But like usually comedy's just now baked into a bunch of like action movies and superhero movies and stuff. We've never actually gotten like a comedy, and I know Barbie's gonna be a dramedy. But still, like I hope that this is, I mean, like we said, all of this happening right before Hollywood's about to basically shut down for the next couple of months at least. Yeah,
I just really hope that because Mattel's already planning that like their own like cinematic universe type thing. Like there's a Hot Wheels movie in the works.
Of course they are.
No, like there's literally a Hot Wheels movie in the works right now.
If it's looking as good as Gran Turismo, like
I really hope.
sorry, we're gonna get another tangent.
I hope it's as good as the live action Speed Racer.
I agree with you. I totally agree with you. That's exactly what I want out of a Hot Wheel movie. Is a fucking Speed Racer spinoff.
Listen, say what you will about the live action Speed Racer.
It's gas.
It's awesome.
It's peak cinema.
It's like the CGI Astro Boy movie. It's like
That was not bad.
yeah, it's like it's shit, but it's shit in a really not good, entertaining way.
Exactly.
Look, okay, I don't want to get into it. I'm gonna say I think Astro Boy, that like live action, where not the live action, the
CGI one, yeah.
I think that whatever the term is came up so that Big Hero 6 could rise and go past it.
Astro Boy walks so Big Hero 6.
Thank you.
You know
I
what?
couldn't formulate in my mind.
I'll take it.
All right.
Anyways, the strike.
Strikes, yes.
strikes.
We meant to mention this earlier, but we are a very well-run machine that is very professional. But yeah, what do you guys think in terms of the strikes coming up and how? I mean, I was talking to PR, I think, about this. How these are like maybe the last couple movies we're gonna get for a while of this caliber. Like, I'm really excited for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
That's good.
In August, we've got Dune, but like past that, a lot of Dune. I don't know how to say it. Yeah.
I don't even
Dune
know
2.
if they're going to release Dune 2.
Oh, really?
Because the actors, if they're still on strike, they're not going
Right.
to go market for it.
Yeah.
PR, I've heard that they're recording pre-promotional material before the strike happened that they can use during.
Oh, that's right, because they can like sign something with SAG.
It's very dirty. It's very
really
sneaky.
weird.
Really?
They
Well,
did
the
that for
strike is
Blue Beetle.
on now. So
Yeah.
I
it's
know.
a standstill.
So I mean, this is still happening. I think Bob Odenkirk specifically called out people that are doing that. Tom Cruise specifically, yep, and was just like, "Hey, this is a strike. You're supposed to go on strike. Like, don't do this crap." Which, of course, I love Bob Odenkirk, but also, yeah, it's weird how so many actors are trying to go
Get around it.
the strike while still participating in
They're
it, and it
scabs.
just, it seems more aligned with
It
that.
feels kind of scabby.
Yeah.
But
I mean it's interesting. Like, I am in full support of the strike, especially, you know, with the treatment of everyone that's essentially not a producer in the film industry just gets fucked over. It doesn't matter if you're the director. Well, the director gets somewhat.
no, the director's got a fair deal.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, different directors kind of do say they like sign something a little bit
Yeah, the
shady.
Directors Guild. Yeah.
Directors
The-
Guild.
The DGA
I
got
wanna
a deal like
You were
that.
very passionate about this in
You
the
were.
meeting. I want to hear you go off about it, 'cause I'm
I
not very educated
literally am so done. Okay, like first of all, like the writers go on strike, and then the Directors Guild goes on strike, and the Directors Guild's like, "Fuck the writers, we got a deal. We're not gonna hold out. We're just gonna accept the deal, and we'll be good." And so the writers are on their own, and now that the actors and the writers are striking, and Hollywood is shut down, studios are still trying to fuck them over and push AI, which
What was the thing that they said where it's like, we're not going to hold out until all these writers are
That
homeless?
was Bob Iger, I believe. who
yeah,
said,
it's Bob Iger.
Yeah, we
And-
gotta. We're not worried about the strike. We'll just wait until they're homeless, and then they have to come back and
Take
make
a
a
shit
shitty deal.
Yeah.
And they're trying to push AI where they can scan actors and just use their likeness till the end of time, by the way, without paying them.
Okay, which, by the way, can I just say, fuck Black Mirror, fuck the last season. That was the most dog shit season ever. Like,
Really?
I hated it. It was like, that's another tangent for another day. But I will say, everyone's been comparing it to like, oh, this is gonna be like, this is gonna be exactly like Black Mirror. That Black Mirror episode. Like, shut up. Did you see how dog shit the Secret Invasion opening was?
Oh my gosh.
Like, I don't.
That half of the reason why I'm not watching Secret Invasion, by the way, is because I turned on the first episode, saw that dog ass intro, and was just like, I don't know if I can actually participate in this.
It's so bad.
It's
It's
sad.
like, we're trying to do
And then
something.
every single time, and it's not even like it fits the theme of the show. It's just lazy.
Well,
And the thing is also like, sorry, I'm going on a tangent.
I
now,
know,
but, like,
no, go.
I think it cost like $225 million to make that show. Money go. Like, I have no idea where that went. And then it's like, I saw this recently. There's a new movie coming out called The Creator, which looks like a really good sci-fi movie. It's like $86 million. And it looks like way better CGI and stuff going on
Than Secret
Invasion. And they actually paid their fucking writers.
Well,
and,
and-
I don't know if they paid them well. I guess I
The
can't
thing
say
is,
that.
too, is like, it's. Because, like, there's been a lot of talk, there's been a lot of scare about AI, and rightfully so. Like, from a cybersecurity standpoint and just, like, a data storage standpoint, like, New York City just recently announced that they're going to start using AI to, like, track people who evade paying like tolls for the subway. And so, like, from a data perspective, from a cybersecurity standpoint, it's a very
Scary thing.
It's a very scary thing, and it's a very real thing. But from a creative standpoint, I just don't think we're quite to the point where AI could fully replace us. And I think that's what's going to bite studio executives in the ass. Because
they're not looking at the creative. They're not looking at like actually caring though. They're just looking at the money.
Well, yeah, but if what I'm kind of seeing is like, you know, we've seen the degradation of VFX, and that's not because of lack of talent. Like The Flash, for example.
Oh my gosh.
With the microwave
Someone posted
scene.
that, like, the whole movie on Twitter, and I was skipping. I didn't want to watch it, so I skimmed through it. That was so bad.
But, like, you know, it's about time. I think we've come to a point in the film industry where, like, pretty much everyone except for the executives, the producers, and maybe the directors, it kind of depends on, like, the genre that you're working in and, like, whether or not you're a female director as well. But, like, you know, the musicians, the VFX artists, the writers, the actors, like, it's about time they all unified and strike together. Because, like,
I agree.
Yeah, like, especially with, like, Across the Spider-Verse, I felt so, like, hollow after I read up all the news. I'm like, well, damn, I just saw it. I just saw that. I just got
saw
out of the
that
theater.
twice. Yeah, that was pretty sad.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm in full support of it. Honestly, I feel like other parts of the industry should also be striking right now.
I think other
Everybody should be
industries.
striking.
I think
Every single industry should be
was
striking. Everyone.
UPS strike. No, I can't remember what industry was it that was. Broadway is actually going to go. Was possibly going to go on a strike within the next 2 days.
my hope right now is that while we're in school,
Game
the
industry
game industry
strike.
strikes so that fucking Bobby Kotick doesn't have to do anything. I can come up and I can get paid. You know, I don't have to deal with. I mean, I would love to. I'm not opposed to dealing with union stuff, but also I just like to get paid and not have to deal with that.
Right.
So
If they don't strike now, it'll be over. Like AI will take over and it'll be too late. So
The
Pretty
WGA has been on strike for 79 days consecutively. Clap, clap, clap.
Claps all around. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. I don't think AI is really yet to the point where they can, like, fully integrate actors into their.
No, they can.
yeah, they can.
They did it with the
I mean, it's that sort of thing though, where you get into. I'm trying to remember what
Uncanny
it is.
Valley.
Uncanny Valley, where like people are going to notice, and I don't know if that's going to really be able to create good works of art.
You see, you think people will notice, but deepfakes have been going around Twitter and people
That's a good
don't
point.
notice. The general public is not keen to these things. It
Okay.
can happen.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay, listen. AI is funny when the presidents sing Feliz Navidad.
I just love the Minecraft videos where it's Biden and Trump and Barack, and they're just chilling playing
Brock,
their
what the
Minecraft
hell?
servers.
Why are you griefing my house?
Ah, so amazing. That's what AI should be for. But that's it. Nothing else.
And I think AI can be a useful tool in the film industry, right? I think it's useful to, you know, help write certain pieces of copy. So like if you have a writer, right, have your writer do their job.
Yeah.
Right? Because I've tested this. I was like, I wonder like what a script like ChatGPT could give me, right? So I wrote a script on my own, and then I wrote a script with, you know, the same kind of heading with ChatGPT.
Yeah.
And you could feel the AI.
You can feel it. Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah. I mean, as someone, I was telling Ronnie about this a little while ago with some of the articles that we put out. I will sometimes not use AI to write the whole thing, of course. But if I'm ever struggling with like
Passive
voice, that's what it is.
Fucking
It's
God.
so annoying with how it works with the website. But literally, I'll just say, like, ask ChatGPT, turn my sentence from active to passive voice, or vice versa, I think.
After you told me that, I did that too. I was
Yeah,
like, hell
it's
yeah.
kind of a game changer. And also, like,
English major.
it doesn't.
Gulp.
Passive voice and active voice, I will
Right?
never conquer it.
I will
It's
never.
kick my
So,
ass.
No,
and
me
it's different
neither.
because, like, it's taking your own words and formulating them in a way so that it still is your own voice, and that's how AI should be. Is like, and this is happening a lot with the games industry in terms of writing dialogue for NPCs, and they just want to attach a ChatGPT box to every NPC so you can have like a full conversation with every. And like at that point, what's the point? You know,
Right.
You go to a random NPC, you're not going to have the same connection as walking up to a NPC in The Witcher 3 and talking about some giant, actually important thing.
right.
So I don't know. That's weird.
I agree. And I think AI is not the only issue of the strike, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's obviously a big part of it. But the other part of it is majority of watching is no longer being done on networks,
Right.
right? It's being done on streaming services. And streaming services
yeah.
don't have to release their watch times, their anything like that, any of their matrix like networks do. So what's happening is, the streaming industries are getting paid money, like billions and billions and billions of dollars. And all the writers want, all the actors want is
Livable wage.
livable wage. They want to be able to live in Hollywood, which I agree, is a very expensive place to live. But if that's where their industry is, they should be able to live there, have a home, have a life.
I mean, I saw so many things when like award season was coming out, and it was mostly writers where it was like, I wrote the script to like the episode that won this year for like the best episode, the best series, whatever. I can't even afford my rent. What is going on with that? Like,
Well,
it's not hard.
Sorry.
Go ahead, around.
Have you seen the residual checks that people are posting on
Yeah.
Twitter?
Who was it? It was an actor from Orange is the New Black, right?
And all the episodes she got like what, $27.
$27.
Streaming doesn't pay residuals at all.
She was like one of the notable actors in it too.
Well,
Like a side character, but
here's
still.
the thing too. It's just it's scummy too, because the way copyright law is structured, and this goes for any creative talent, like composers. This goes for writers. You relinquish any ownership to your work to the executives. I was talking about copyright law, actually, and intellectual property, which is always fun. But yeah, so like for any creative work that you do, if you want to make it in the industry, you have to be okay with relinquishing your work and like just. And that's been kind of the industry standard for eons. Like, and it was especially worse back in the 20th century. Like in the early days of cinema, back in like the 20s and 30s, everything actually used to be in-house. And so like the composers were in-house, the writers were in-house, and there were like non-competition clauses. So every single thing that you worked for, if you got into Universal Studios, for example, you were stuck with Universal Studios. And then antitrust laws were like, you can't do that. So things have been a little better in that regard. But yeah, it's been the industry standard to just like have shit residuals, and it sucks. It's so scummy. The only reason George Lucas, for example, ever got rich off of Star Wars, funnily enough, was not because of the residuals, but was because he specifically asked in his contract with I think it was Fox that produced it. I can't remember off the top of my head. But when he sold Star Wars, he specifically asked in his contract, "I want I think he said 50% of all merchandise sales." That's the only reason he is successful financially, because otherwise he would have been fucked, just like everyone else.
And that carried over to his Disney contract too.
Yeah.
Smart guy.
No, he was very smart, very smart. And it's a miracle that they actually went through with that, because I don't think they really expected merchandise. And the same thing happens actually with Harry Potter as well. Because what Harry Potter, I can't remember exactly what this was, but I think Daniel Radcliffe, I think, talked about this. Don't quote me, I'm not sure about the details on this. But essentially his residuals were he was due residuals, but the way that Warner Brothers went around it was that they created a shell company that technically didn't get any profit, and so from the accounting standpoint, they didn't have to. They rerouted everything to the shell company, something like that, where they just rerouted money in order to avoid paying residuals. So even when residuals are in the contract, executives avoid paying them as much as they can, and it sucks, and it fucking sucks.
Yeah. What's crazy for that perspective is this works for a lot of actors and writers. If you're ever stuck in a contract like that with Daniel Radcliffe and Harry Potter, his whole teams are gone because of Harry Potter. Doesn't have much to show for it. A lot of writers are stuck writing the same show for however many seasons. Doesn't get much there's not much. They can leave, I guess, but at that point it's leaving to go to maybe get another job for maybe worse or better pay.
Well, and if you leave too, companies talk, executives talk. So, you could just get blacklisted from the entire industry altogether.
Yeah, that's a big thing. But Kennedy, any thoughts on this?
I don't have a lot of thoughts on. I wish I was more well informed about it, to be honest with you. I mean, like, my opinions just match the rest of yours. So obviously people should be paid for their work. And I don't know. I guess my only, it's more of a question because I don't have the answer to it, but I just think I just, find myself wondering why we've gotten to such a place where executives feel like they are entitled to keep as much money as they do. I just think it's crazy because it's like it happens so often. It happens time and time again. Like, I'm just so curious psychologically what happens between like you being someone who's getting paid at the bottom and then
It's just capitalism.
something just changes and then you just kind of you just feel less empathy about it. And I'm like, where did that go? Where did that key piece of...
Interestingly enough, Kennedy, it's and I actually know this. There have been psychological studies on money and how much, like, if there is a maximum cap to how much, like. So they've done studies on like happiness and like affect and the amount of money that you make. And yeah, the more money you make, the happier you are. But they're actually, interestingly enough, there's a plateau. I can't remember. I think it might have been $10 million, but I can't remember for sure. But there is a plateau where after a certain point, you just don't get any happier, and you don't. In fact, I think you actually end up getting a little more depraved and depressed. Like that happens psychologically. Like there is just a maximum cap to wealth that will make you happy.
Mind you, these people have billions of dollars, not even 10 million.
No, not even 10 million. It's billions. And it's crazy too, because like every single industry has this, but the film industry, I think, is the most pervasive one. And it sucks because like film and the arts in general are like some of the most gorgeous like expressions of the human spirit.
Mm-hmm. One of the things that I've been thinking about a lot lately in terms of just all of this was like, I mean, a lot of executives are like, oh, but they're unrealistic about what they're demanding, even though they're sitting on like $1 million yachts. One of the industry goats for game development is Miyamoto. He's made Mario. He's helped make Zelda. He's like done all of these things.
He's the gaming dude.
He's the gaming dude. He just had the Mario movie, which he was very heavily involved in, like break numbers, and he's not getting paid. Like he's getting paid enough. He's still getting like millions of dollars, but he's still at a point where he gives away he not gives away, but actually pays his employees well, and that also shows in the art. Like we got Tears of the Kingdom, one of the best games ever made. We're going to get like Pikmin 4, which looks amazing. We're getting 2 Mario games later this year. And all of those look like genuine, really well done works of art that people actually care about making and are putting like as much love and care into it because they don't have to worry about money.
Yeah. Well, in organizational psychology and like management, like shows, like studies have shown this. They do this in Europe too. Where like here we're used to the 40-hour weekday. Mm-hmm. In Europe, it's actually, and like even in Japan, they're used to like 20-30 hours tops, and like even then it's like 3-day weekdays as well. Mm-hmm. And
also like their vacation ideas of like
their ideas of vacation, everything, and like outcomes of life is tremendously improved upon more than here. And I don't know, it's like, it just seems like common sense. Like, because they teach you this in finance too. They say, if you want a good job, out of anyone you pay your lawyers really well and pay your stockbrokers really well, and they will make the money for you. And so why doesn't that apply to every single one on the creative team? They're making your product. And if they're passionate about it, they will try to make sure that it is a successful product. So why not pay them to succeed?
Versus when executives can get a couple more million or $1 billion to spend on fancy yachts.
I mean, I think it comes from a lack of understanding, obviously. Like, because, I mean, they obviously think that their jobs can be easily replaced by a bot. So obviously they don't value that person's work very much. And if you don't value that person's work and you think it's really easy to do, then you think, why should I pay you this much money for it? You're doing the easy work while I see myself as doing the hard work, so I should get most of the money. Like, I think it's a separation of like, because they're not involved in the creative process and they're not witnessing what it's actually like to make this sort of thing, that they think that it's just not that hard and it's not that big of a deal. And so I think that's what it is. It has to be. Like, it's just a separation of like, they think their job is way harder and they're kind of taking. I mean, they're obviously taking writers for granted. So
Which is hilarious because every single like creative I know always like keeps in mind with the executives like, yeah, they have to make the tough decisions. They like we understand to that to a certain extent. Like even those like WGA and SAG-AFTRA, they're like, listen, we know our demands, like, and we were willing to come to the table. Like they've called out the Netflix executives, they've called out Disney executives, like Bob Iger and everything. So like they're well sympathetic. They're more than sympathetic, but it's just kind of gross to see like, well, let them starve.
yeah, well, I mean, you could easily flip it too. Like, why can't ChatGPT make decisions? Is it about a numbers game? Is it about making deals that make money? Because a computer can do that. You know what I mean? So it's just like you can flip it anyway, and it's just ridiculous.
Goldfish managed to like rake in like thousands on stock market.
Yeah.
That's funny. I think bottom line is billionaires are all evil, and I'll stand by that. And they don't care about you, and they never will.
And that's what the Barbie movie is hopefully going to be about.
Exactly.
I was about to say, I hope they get this back.
Yeah, I mean, so if there's a point to this, support WGA, support SAG-AFTRA.
And go support Barbie and Oppenheimer, because those are the last two movies we might be getting for a while.
You can also donate to the Writers Guild and the SAG-AFTRA Guild for food funds.
I think we talked about this. Follow Adam. I don't remember what
Adam
his name is.
Conover.
Adam Conover's great.
He's been doing really good stuff for that. Straw Hat Goofy's been doing some good stuff about that.
Yep.
There's also, don't cancel your streaming subscription quite yet.
This is Netflix. There's not much coming out in there.
Well, no. Well, yeah, but I mean, I as in, like, don't boycott quite yet.
Yeah.
Like, the unions have said don't boycott quite yet until they're ready to say that for a boycott. Yep. Just because the executives will use that data to say, well, no one watches the streaming service. There's no interest in it, so why should we pay you?
Yeah.
So, yeah, just support, read up on it as much as you can.
And also, just like, I mean, I think a big thing, this is actually something I was talking about with my dad, just in terms of like, oh, it's going to suck that nothing new is going to be coming out. Like the Mission Impossible movie specifically, it's like, no idea when that next one's going to be coming out. First of all, strikes are supposed to be disruptive, so that's just something we have to live with. But also, you have plenty of shows and movies on your backlog. This is now the perfect time to go do that. I am so excited to like finish up The Wire or like, I don't know, just there's so much. I mean, what was the show that you were talking about? Fargo.
Fringe. Yeah.
Fargo's a different show.
That is a different show.
Yeah.
You can watch
Fringe.
both of them.
I can watch both of them. Yeah, there's so many shows and movies that I've been meaning to watch. And
you
if
should
anything,
dig out those old Barbie movies, the DVDs, give them a rewatch, because now you have the perfect time.
just like, I don't know, it's funny to me where it's like, people are like, oh, I can't believe there's not going to be new stuff coming out. It's like, there's been plenty of stuff that you probably, you're not caught up on.
There's an entire century worth of cinema.
And it's amazing. Yeah.
And, you know, we as content creators in this space, like, you know, we chose to talk about movies and film and TV and games, whatever, right? So the unions, the WGA and SAG-AFTRA have specific rules for content creators on their websites. If you are interested, go check those out. Basically, they're like, hey,
don't promote struck companies.
Don't promote struck companies. You know, anything new that's coming out, please don't promote those, stuff like that. And I think like Barbie and Oppenheimer, I think are like the one weird exception.
Right.
But, you know, we're also not getting paid for any of this, but at the same time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we want to, like, show support for the unions.
I mean, we're kind of, some of us are like the future of that industry.
Exactly.
You know? So, of course, this is going to affect us in some way.
Don't do anything that's going to break the SAG-AFTRA laws if you want to be a part of it.
Exactly. If you want to join the union, don't piss them off.
Yeah.
But
do you think they'll see this geek out like this?
Yeah, it's going to make huge numbers.
You know, no. Well, do you think like in 10 years they're like, we would accept you into the union. However, that one episode of Barbennehimer,
They do research on you. Like when you go to a job like that, if you're part of like a student media thing, which is easy to get information on, they'll watch stuff that you've said. So
watch what you're saying, Stefan.
I'm not the one that said I liked it.
Yeah, but I knew that was coming.
I didn't want to say it.
No, I don't like Hitler. I like Taika Waititi, who played Hitler.
There
you go. But yeah, so like a lot of I feel like content that we're gonna produce in the next coming is more film, TV shows, games that are coming out that came out before.
Yeah. I
Right.
mean, you've been working on
On a
we've
lot
got
Dead Poet Society.
Dead Post Say. What was the term that you came up with?
Does it still hold up? Yeah. We're launching a new series on the website just because, partially, this is really good timing because of everything
This
with
was
the
actually
strike.
before the strike.
But
that
we
you
were
came up
planning
with
this before this, just because a lot of us, we can't really keep up with all the new content that's coming out, because if we did, we'd be here forever with the amount of stuff that's
We're also
always coming
college
out.
students, so like college
So-
does come first.
Well,
I think
yeah.
that's something we all agree about.
Well, and furthermore, as well, like there's some of us just really love our nostalgic feelings, and so we kind of created a space on the website to write reviews on pretty much anything that we grew up with. Anything, I think we decided anything that's like 2 years older or
Something like that.
Something
I mean,
like that.
it's gonna also depend with the strike going on too. Like we're just gonna cover whatever we want to talk about.
Yep. And the only thing that I really want to cover that we might not be able to is a live action One Piece
That's a good point.
because it's Netflix.
We'll get to it when we get to it.
We'll get to it next year.
I mean, what if I watch it in Japanese? Is that considered a Japanese?
Watch it on Kiss Anime.
Then we'll watch. There
We're
you
watching
go.
Jujutsu Kaisen on 9 anime, so I guess that works, right?
Oh yeah. Do the strike rules apply to foreign developments or no?
They don't.
think
It's,
so.
They
it's,
don't, right?
it's
Is One
only
Piece
American.
foreign?
One Piece
I mean,
is
the
based
live
out of
action
Japan.
is also.
They only right
It's
now.
no Cowboy Bebop. I don't think it was.
So the cast is kind of from all over, but the studio is Netflix, which is a U.S. entity,
Right.
but the IP is a Japanese
Right.
entity.
Okay.
So like it's this weird gray area.
You're not going to be able to talk about the Percy Jackson series anytime soon.
Fucking hell, dude.
Sorry, Ronnie. I just realized
We had to
that.
cut this off by October, guys.
Yeah, even like Rick Riordan, I don't know how you say his last name, but he was like, yeah, like I'm not gonna promote it. So it's like if
You're so close, dude.
if he's with it, I'm with it.
Yeah.
Lance Riddick's dead. Rick Riordan's not marketing it.
He's Zeus.
I guess we could talk about these like briefly in like Geek Out episodes.
I think that's the best that we'll do.
Yeah.
But I think full in depth promoting and like saying, "Oh, go do this like we used
The whole
to."
wishful thinking
Yeah.
episode. Yeah.
Wishful thinking might have to take a pause then.
It might take a pause, or we might take a look back and look at some other old movies.
Just pivot for the strike.
Pivot, watch a couple old shows, like I was saying.
I mean, if we could find a projector, we could always watch old movies here. Live
true.
reaction type thing.
There's a projector right down the
That works.
hallway.
Yeah.
Cool.
Is there any last minute wrap up suggestions from anyone? I know we kind of veered off of, do we want to do like some scores of Barbie and Oppenheimer since we've kind of
Yeah,
Both
let's do
are
it.
veered
tens.
off of?
Both
That's
are
always
tens.
I think
fun.
both are gonna be 10s.
Both are tens. Preemptively.
Both are tens. Is that everybody's consensus?
Kennedy?
Kennedy?
Ronnie, what's your...
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, okay. I thought you were saying that as in like, I don't know if Oppenheimer's going to be 10. But
I was
okay.
gonna do that, but it might. Yeah, it's probably gonna be a 10.
I think this is the first time we've had like a full 100% consensus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Thanks, unions.
Subconsciously, we're all just scared that these are gonna be the last good movies, so we're like, they have to be 10s, please.
Well,
I guess a little bit of shout outs real quick. I'm trying to think of anything. I mean, I had the Bear season 2 review come out.
my Dead Poets Society
Your Dead
review.
Poets Society. You've got Midnight Suns coming out soon.
Next week.
And Peaky Blinders review for the new season.
Should be coming up hopefully
Should be coming
soon.
out
And then a bunch of Anime Town,
yep.
Man on the Street stuff is gonna be coming out soon. That'll be fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
We mentioned this a couple of times. Geek Out. I'm remembering that it hasn't.
Come
No,
out
it
yet.
will come out by the time that this is out.
Oh, right, because this is editing. Yeah.
Yeah, because this is editing. Weird
Oh.
pre-production stuff. Okay, buddy. But yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. And then as we wrap down summer semester going into fall, I think the idea is to have a little bit more stuff. Like I said, though, I think fall semester is going to be pretty busy for all of us. I mean,
Rip.
yeah. Are you
Rip.
doing capstone? Or are you not there yet?
I'm doing. Are you doing capstone?
I'm doing capstone.
He's doing
Yeah.
capstone already? Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Whoa.
I'm
So you're
doing
doing
trad. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's gonna be fun. Yeah, we'll be busy, but we'll still keep stuff going.
Yep.
Cool.
Outro?
Well,
Yeah.
outro.
Well, thank you guys for watching this episode of Wishful Thinking. Don't know when the next one will be, but hopefully we'll catch you around. Go support unions. Support your fellow humans. Donate if you can. Let us know what you think about Barbennehimer. Peace, y'all.
Just be nice.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Being a good human being.
Good human being. That's a good note.
All right.
All right.
All right, that's a cut.
That's good. That was
That was
solid.
great.